know what's in Antarctica. Like, what's on that side I can't go to.
I just learned about Wi-Fi's, man. Like, that shit crazy, ain't it?
Big crazy.
That shit crazy, dog. And then on top of that, like, we can't get along with nothing, but we all just came together.
All of us, brother. Working together, sharing resources, sharing money, brother, living together, bro. All us up there in the same spot.
Crazy.
In peace, and not saying that. And the only thing they could ever make you in peace is a common enemy.
Yeah.
The only thing.
Yeah.
Only reason they up there gathered in this school, because they know something that they either got to keep an eye on, or that they working with, or that they, you know.
No, you're right about that. You're right about that. And you know what? I never knew that. I never knew that a human being, just a citizen of any country, can't just step foot on Antarctica. Nobody has state claim on it.
Restricted airspace. You can't fly nothing over there.
Ain't that crazy?
The one dude back in the day who did it, he went on a military mission. They sent him over there, and he came back and he described what happened to him when he got outside of the communication with the base. And they wrote him off as like a lunatic. But that man ain't seem crazy. That man was telling like the real truth of what happened when you go over there. That man said it's a whole nother world over there. There's people over there. It's a whole nother. They swear, but they wrote him off as like, oh, you crazy, bro. You lost your mind, you know, soldier who, PTSD, all that stuff.
Yeah.
But folks swear to God, man. This place in the Grand Canyon you can't go. So you can go visit the Grand Canyon, and there's like visitor spaces, like, you know, for tourists and stuff like that. But it's a whole shit ton of space out there, hundreds of miles that you can't go to. And it's military guarded.
Yeah, nah, that's crazy. And you know what? I stumbled across this mermaid shit. I laughed at first. I ain't gonna front. But then I started thinking, like, let me not laugh too hard. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't gonna lie, I laughed. I just wasn't buying that shit. But I don't know, because it's just like how much of the water has been explored?
Very little. It's parts that we can't get to, and for a reason.
Yeah. And what part of the world is that? They said that all that knocking is going on. I think they kept saying that it was like an avalanche or a big piece of ice falling into the ocean, but I don't know.
It's definitely a lot to it, bro.
I thought Trump was gonna be the nigga to come in there and tell it all, though.
When you see what it is, you realize ain't no point on. Like, you know what I'm saying? You see some shit that blow your mind, though. You know what I'm saying? I tell people the story all the time when I saw Bigfoot, and people think that's crazy.
When you saw Bigfoot at?
I was like, I think we're in Maine. I was born in Maine. And I tell people that all the time. I say all the time. It's like, you know how you think you'll react when you see something that, like an alien or something like that, but you freeze up in your shoe. You just get quiet. You just get silent. I saw it when I was like 7 years old, and I never said nothing until I might have been like 27, 28, and I went to a family reunion, and somebody brought a Bigfoot. And I jokingly said, man, I seen you better, man. You know, and I told the scenario, and my mama looked at me. She said, you saw that too? I said, what you mean? She's like, and she went to finishing the story. She's like, I saw the same thing, but I was so amazed that you just don't say nothing. Like, I'm a 7-year-old kid, you know, kids gonna say something like, mama, look, daddy, look, something like that. We was driving, and we was driving down the road, we was coming off this exit, like, get back onto the interstate. And I'm just looking out the window, because back then, like, you know, wasn't no iPads and no shit like that, so they playing probably, what the hell old people play, Johnny Gill or something, I'm getting them about, you know. So I'm staying out the window, and I see this thing, brother, and I'm at however fast the car moving, it's moving exactly the same speed we move. And like, as a kid, you don't really have depth perception, but now being an adult, I realized, like, that thing was big from far away. So I can't imagine what it was like. It was taller than the car from way over there. And I'm just seeing it float through the trees. I'm like, I'm just, and you just still, bro, it's something unreal to see. You know what I mean? And you see it clear as day. It ain't like I kind of saw something like, bro, I'm looking at you like I'm looking at y'all.
See, that's what my clients be saying in the funeral in Ponce de Leon. It's I forgot what they call the Florida Bigfoot. It's called, I can't think of, but they talk about it all the time, like they see it all the time. I was laughing, I ain't gonna front, I was laughing, but they were so serious. They didn't think that shit was funny. I was like, I stopped laughing, but I said, yeah, these niggas on drugs bad, goddamn. But
I'm telling you, brother, I saw that man live and in the flesh, brother.
Hey, we rolling, man. You can bring us in for old times, man.
You can hear?
Do you want this on here, or how you?
You don't need that phone, be on the mic.
Okay,
so
I mean, like, did you want to hang it on the thing, or did you want it to the side? I see y'all. Okay.
Yeah, it don't really matter.
Look, I don't even know how the microphone check now, because I got it on my
Yeah, you good to go.
So listen, we trying out something new, but hey man, welcome to the Anxiety Issues Podcast for the 3rd iteration. I'm guessing it's what this is. So don't know how long we gonna be here, but we'll see how it go. You know what I mean? But back with a special guest for sure. Bone, I'm pretty sure you want to introduce us. You set the guest up. Let them know who we got in the building today.
We have my good friend, my brother Jermaine Williams, author. Man, go ahead and run it down, bro. You got a lot of accolades. I don't even want to miss nothing, so I don't want to half-ass introduce you, man, but I've listened to you introduce yourself before, so make sure you know who these folks is. I watch you do it in front of groups of people to make sure they knew who you was. So make sure these folks know who you is, man.
Yes, sir. I appreciate y'all having me, man. Author, documentarian, filmmaker, mental health professional, advocate, and a candidate for Pensacola mayor.
That's what's up. You say documentary?
Yeah.
Now, is that the same thing that Deontay Wilder said he was finna make?
Nah, he was making a documentary. Documentary.
Okay, that's something different.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, they put the fancy
on. That's the CTE version.
Yeah, I don't know what he was trying to say.
I didn't know what that was. Just checking.
Yeah.
Nah, that's what's up, man. I'm not gonna keep you long. Normally when we had these, you know, if you're familiar with our podcast, I'm always joking. I come in with something, but you know, because of what you're running for, definitely something serious. I want to dive straight into it. I kind of give you a perspective about something that's currently going on. Everybody was talking about the Super Bowl halftime performance, right? And is there an overall take? I'll just start from an overall perspective that you guys have of Bad Bunny performing in today's time at the Super Bowl.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, I had a different lens of it because the Hispanic community here had the Benito Bowl at the Luna, and there was over 200 of them just gathered watching it. And they invited me to come to speak, and I spoke, and they first off was just amazed that I came because they say no candidate they don't get thought about.
Yeah.
But to see how they reacted to Bad Bunny, I mean, I respect all perspectives. You know, I respect all perspectives, but just to see the pride that they had, you know, in tears and everything,
right.
I just, no matter how I came in thinking, because I didn't think, Bad Bunny, okay. But now I was just really happy for them because representation matters. Representation matters. So I was happy to see it. They deserve that platform. They have gave so much to this country, just like, every other community, and their time on the spotlight, and, it was their time.
For sure.
Yeah.
What you think?
I think there's a certain arrogance about America to where there's a thing to where if they don't understand something, then it shouldn't exist, right? And a lot of it was about we don't even understand the words or we don't speak the language, right? So there's a thing to where if you care enough, learn the language.
Right.
They had to learn ours, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think it's not a platform that was given to them for them, not for you.
Right.
You feel me? So, and just like when it's a rap concert, it's for us, it's not for them. When it's a country concert, it's for them, not us, right? So it's just like everybody gets a turn. And when it's somebody else's turn and you're not included, and it's not all inclusive, it's a problem when our country is divided and everything that most of the things they do are non-inclusive.
Right.
You feel me? You have to be invited. So I think there was some undertone that nobody talked about with the language barrier. You feel me? To where nobody understood it, and that's okay. And everybody needs to know what it feels like to not understand and to not be understood. You feel me? Because that's what they go through. So I thought it was dope that they gave them that platform. And what's funny about another thing that's crazy is that any person that performs at the Super Bowl, they don't make special music for the Super Bowl. They just rap their hits, and there's a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? Symbolism that takes place. And even on mute, you can see the symbolism. You don't have to understand the language. So it's not like Bad Bunny was rapping about what the symbolism was. He was just singing the songs that he always sings, the same songs that won him a Grammy. So obviously somebody wants to hear him, right?
Yeah.
So same way with Kendrick. His performance had nothing to do with the songs he rapped. It was the symbolism that you pay attention to. But sometimes people are so caught up in their own world and so caught up in what they want and what they desire that they miss right what's in front of them. They don't try to see the symbolism. They don't want to see it. You feel me? And I just think we just live in a country to where people misunderstand you on purpose. They don't even try. They don't want to understand you.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? Because if you wanted to, you would.
Definitely.
And I just think that's what all minorities got to feel, and it's always disheartening to hear black people complain about something like that.
Yeah.
When, bro, that's the same struggle we face. So
you heard some black people complain about?
Yeah.
There was
a lot of black people saying that like they didn't appreciate it or they didn't enjoy it because they didn't understand the words. And I was just like, bro, that's the world we live in.
Yeah. And I ain't gonna front.
That's why I didn't hear not a good job. I'm sorry. I didn't hear that, but I would have loved to sit with a black. I would just to be curious because you have to know how that feels. I would love to hear a black person say you didn't. That's
absolutely. And I'll tell you what, man. One of my favorite artists of all time, probably top 12, Selena. Like by far. Like not like one song, two songs. I got a ton of songs that I love from Selena. As long as I've been listening to Selena, within the last 3 years, I only Googled what she was talking about. I never knew what the song was about. But as we all know, as three musicians sitting here, we know that music speaks its own language. You know, so it just that kind of stuff don't even matter. That's when you know that people are looking to nitpick something. They're looking for it because, like, I ain't gonna lie, I ain't know my son loved Bad Bunny. He loved that culture. But and I hear it all the time, banging out the damn bathroom when he taking a shower. But you know the beat stumping. I ain't gonna even front. Like some of these mumble rappers, I don't know what they say.
You see the words out of my mouth.
You know, but the beats be banging, and you know what I'm saying. So it's just like it is what it is. But because ain't no way you switch over and listen to Kid Rock. And you know, and put them two on the same platform. Not, you know, for people that look like us. I mean, like I'm not listening to Kid Rock. You know.
But before because I do want to address Kid Rock, but why do you think this country has such a problem with? They're okay with appropriation, but inclusion is a problem. That's the mix I don't understand. We can appropriate a culture all day. We have holidays, Cinco de Mayo. You think white people don't go drink on that St. Patty's Day? We have no problem with any appropriation of a culture. But when it's inclusion of a culture, all of a sudden it seems to be a problem. So why can we mimic or take what we want from a particular culture, but when we have to invite the culture in, it is now a problem?
It's because when you invite the culture in, you got to do culture the right way. You feel what I'm saying? When it's inclusive, you have people of that space. It's the same reason why when you go to a white party and there's the one black dude who really don't be around black people who they think is black, he don't want a real black person to come around.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? Because that exposes the operation.
Yeah.
So I think I think they are like culture vultures. They'll take your culture and turn it into whatever they want to turn it into. Just like right now, what's the word? The unk is now means uncool.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Oh, that's what it means?
That's what they're turning unk into, uncool. That's I didn't know it mean uncool. It don't.
Yeah,
You feel me? You just took it and made it what you wanted to make it. You feel what I'm saying? And I think that's what they do to other people's cultures. But when you're present, they can't just do your culture any type of way.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? So I think like when they just hate to see you take control of something that belongs to you and do it how it's supposed to be done because now they can't mimic it.
Yeah. And you know what I found though, like on a personal one-on-one level, when you talk to certain people that's outside of a certain culture, they respect it. But it's the people in minority has the biggest platforms to where sometimes you would even think that like this is how a whole race of people may think, but it's just that small, like Megyn Kelly, you know, so to speak, that's got the loudest voice in the room. And even if people don't even feel like that, you know, they will go along with what she's saying through brainwashing. But with me working in mental health, and I'm just talking to these guys every day, and it's just like, wow, all of them, the majority of people I see think like that or speak like that is on the internet and they're on TV. But I haven't encountered a lot of them, and I'm not saying that they will, because my job is different. So they know when they come in, they shut that door, it's HIPAA protected. I've had like a white mom tell me she's about to lose it because her daughter is dating a black guy. And not a Shamar Moore or Barack Obama, but 50 Cent. These are exact words. And I just stand there because I'm not there. When I'm there, I'm not Jermaine. I'm not a black man. I'm none of that. I'm there to help her seek wellness. And so, you know, they can just openly talk to her.
That was a wild list for her mama to rattle off. So her mama said that, like, those are the black. So
up.
she'd be cool if her daughter was dating. Which one she named?
Shamar. Now, you know she old because she said Shamar.
Right. Shamar. 50 Cent.
She said, yeah.
She said Barack Obama. He is a 50 Cent. That's the problem.
He is. Okay. All right.
So, you know, and it's the thing of
Barack killed more people than 50 Cent, man. That's neither nor there.
Y'all go ahead. But now I just think I'm hoping that old way of thinking is on its way out. That's all we can hope for, you know.
Yeah, I don't think it's ever going to be on its way out. I just think that certain things get highlighted and they become what's reality. I just think it's just like social media. Your algorithm is your reality, right? You see social media different than I do. You see it different than I do. And everybody else does based on what your algorithm is, and your algorithm is your world. So if you live in a space to where that's what you're tuned into, and that's what it's just like when you get a car and suddenly you see them all the time. It's like, bro, those cars been there. You just notice them now because you have one.
For sure.
It's the same thing with the media and everything else. I think there's a lot of love in this world. There's a lot of hate in this world too. It's just, what are you focused on?
Yeah.
And they're pumping that hate like a motherfucker, and there's a reason behind that.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. And you're right about the focus, because excuse me, brother. If you look at the last 5 to 7 minutes of Bad Bunny's show, the way, you know, the first thing he said was, you know, God bless America. You know, and we all know that territory is a part of this country.
Right.
But you know, like, there was no hate in his approach. So I just didn't understand the selective outrage on this.
I think it's funny that they act like he's not an American artist. I think that's
crazy.
You know what I mean? They don't view him like he's from Puerto Rico. It's just, but that's neither here nor there. Do you think there's a select group of white people? Because it's not all. I don't ever like to group anybody together because I hate when they do it to black people, right? But there's clearly a select group of white people that fight so hard against this kind of thing. Is it because they've convinced the rest of the world that we're the minority? So I guess what I'm saying, on a macro level, white people are the majority of the world. The world is not majority white by any stretch of the meaning.
Right.
Majority of the world is people of color, right? So how have they managed to pull off this, you know, theory that they are the majority, that they are the dominant, that, you know, that they're at risk of being pushed back, when the truth of the matter is I think the world is 13% white or something like that, like the overall. So is that their fear that they're going to be suppressed until what the numbers say? Like, people of color are taking over and like they're kind of getting surrounded. Is that, you know, I'm just trying to, I try to put myself in the shoes of why this is happening. I see what's going on. I can stay on that surface level and just address that. Or I can say, why do they feel that way? Why is this big push against so many people of color?
I think it's because the manipulator don't never want you to figure out that you're being manipulated. And I think that a part of the reason is our fault too. I think people are just too lazy to do research. We're cool with taking information from somebody and running with that because it's too much work to actually check for yourself. It's so funny how many fun facts you'll find if you just search something, something simple. And it's like, damn, bro, I didn't know that. I went 25 years not knowing that because my cousin told me it was something different.
Yeah.
You feel me? And it's just like, all you got to do is look. And I don't think people like zoom out often enough to actually see the bigger picture, because that is a real thing. Like, most of the world is color, bro. And it's just like, even with like people's faiths and things, I'm like, bro, like, that's not the only one that exists, bro. There are people that practice something else. So the audacity of you to try to demonize somebody for practicing something different, when it's just like, bro, there are several different things that people, all these different cultures and different things. So everybody else going to wherever you say they're going because they don't practice what you practice. You feel what I'm saying? I just think there's an arrogance to just America in general. You feel me? And I think what's sad is that black people have adopted that arrogance, and we can't even afford to adopt that.
Because when he said the word minority, I'm just like, we're not the minority. But I know how we're viewed here, but just on the world scale, we're not the minority.
No, absolutely. You know, and I think another thing is like the notion of a lot of people saying that black people found Christianity in this country, but the oldest Bible is rests in Ethiopia.
Facts.
You know, and no matter whatever machine, whatever person pulling those levers try to pull, technology is too vast for us to even let them pull whatever they want to pull. It's our laziness, you know. And that's why I tell my son, question everything. You know, go find out for yourself. You know, it's just dumb stuff that I just look up. I see something on TV, I'm like, I wonder, you know, even sayings, why do we say don't, you know, throw the baby out with the bathwater, those kind of things. See where everything comes from. You'll realize what, you know, you might not be in line with what even phrases you're saying, you know, with the meaning behind it. So I just think that whoever would like us to be as dumb as we are, I think we are, they've done a good job with it.
And I think that a part of that too is that truth comes with change. So when you learn the truth of something, you have to make an adjustment, and that's uncomfortable. I said it before that like you could be going the wrong direction for 3 hours, and the hardest thing to do is turn around and go back 3 hours and then go to the direction you're supposed to go. And sometimes it's easier to just stay lost. You feel what I'm saying? So I just think that's the thing that happens too. It's just like, bro, like if I find out this, I got to throw out all of this that I've been doing my whole life. You feel me? I got to retrain this and I got to redo this. Nah, I'm good. That's a part of it too.
So just stick to the way I'm going.
Yeah, stick to the way I'm going because it works. Like they say, ignorance is bliss.
And that's hard for me to adapt that, being in addiction for 13 years and then sobriety in 10. And it's just like, man, my 10 years have been crazy. Like it feels like 30. You know what I'm saying? The strides that I've made. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like redirection is everything. Because if you ain't growing, you're dying. And I just feel like when you see what you're doing wrong, go ahead and pivot right there because, you know.
But how many people do you deal with on a daily that just feel like it's just easier to be where I'm at? Like I'm good, bro. It's too much work to turn it around.
Yeah, like even in my job, just helping people out of addiction. They give you every excuse why they can't change. You know, we talked about it off air before we started, but when it's the power of storytelling, when you're sitting in front of somebody and you're saying, man, I was there too. You know, I was probably a little worse than you. I'm running for mayor now. You know, with 10 years of sobriety, with a book under my belt, a couple films, documentaries, you know, TV series. And they're like, yeah, but that's you. You know, like looking at me like, bro, it's no different. But see, everybody don't have that person that could just not only push them, you know, because it's going to take consistency. But that's why I feel like, man, you know, some of our OGs failed us. A lot of them failed us.
For sure.
But, I mean, we got to break that cycle, you know, but everybody busy, everybody got a lot going on. But, you know, like, you know, what you did over there at the Belmont, you know, grabbing everybody in and at least planting the seed on, like, start breaking these cycles, you know, because sometimes enough is enough. Some of the stuff, some of the crimes that we seeing is just outrageous, you know, and sometimes we got to step in and check in on our community and check our community if we have to because, you know, can't nobody police us better than us. Like, bro, we are 3 men right here, right now, and I know some of y'all's story, I don't know all of y'all's story, but I know my story. I can speak for me, I know I shouldn't be sitting here. No way I should be sitting there alive. I should have been dead a long time ago. And for the fact that we've been through what we've been through, made it out, became successful, and we seeing other people, you know, that's the only flex is just pulling people up and getting them to a level where you are, get their mind thinking that is possible. Because like, man, y'all know, man, y'all are giants in this city, man. People look up to y'all, and I know they stop y'all in Walmart or whatever the case. And so we got major voices here, and I think that we are the missing links. And other people, like, you know, I think like I respect the hell out of Kirk Frost, you know, over there on the east side, and the way he turned his life around, and people still looking at the OG, the legend that he has done with, you know, I ain't gonna speak on that man past because it's not his present, but the turnaround he has done, the things that he's doing in the community, and you know, I just think it speaks volumes. That kind of stuff just speaks volumes, and that's the only way that we're gonna be able to turn the tide.
Let's get into you though. I'm curious. So, just a starter. Obviously, we when we introduced you, we said you're running for mayor. Is that correct? That's
yes.
Okay, cool.
I am.
My first initial question, it's a two-part question. I want to know why mayor and why Jermaine Williams.
Why mayor is like what real change I'm gonna do at city council. You know, what real change I'm gonna do, and I'm a county commissioner. You know, like. And for those that are watching, like we are one of those rare cities where we have the county in the city, you know, and the county holds more power than the city. That's where the state dollars flow from. But if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. You know, like if you want to make real change, because I'm not, y'all know I ain't a politician. I'm more used to being in the space of holding politicians accountable. So if I'm gonna do it, like why run for a city council seat? Not talking down on it. But the change I want to see, I can't do it from the city council seat, you know. And what made my decision is, so last year was a great year for me on the advocate stage because of the things that was going on with Ferguson. I had 2 wins. Like I've been an advocate for the community for the last 15 years, and this is a losing fight. Everybody who I respect that I fought side by side with on their causes and mine. We all know we're fighting a losing fight. It's rare. You could go to the grave. I know some advocates that went to the graves without 1 win. I got 2 last year. Not small ones, huge. I was able to block the city, with help, of course, it wasn't on me, but I was able to block the city with what they were doing with Ferguson, you know, and not giving that community a fair shot and changing their community without their input.
Correct.
And whenever you see that, you know that's something that's up, don't smell right. And then the Bayou District with Baptist Hospital. And, you know, the community, the city did not know what was going on with Baptist Hospital at all. And the city put out this false narrative of we're putting out RFPs on who's going to redevelop Baptist.
What's an RFP?
Request for a proposal.
Okay.
And so the city took these RFPs, but I'm like, wait a minute. I went on live and I was like, let me tell y'all something. The mayor took the whole city council 2 years ago to visit Bayou District. That deal is done. And I'm like, do you know who Bayou District is? They've done the same thing in Atlanta, what they did, the most infamous thing they're known for in Katrina during New Orleans. Like just tearing down the St. Bernard Parish while people's stuff was still inside.
Correct.
And then made these promises of what they're gonna do, what they're gonna keep with the community. Then they backtracked on it. You know, and the mayor said that he loved what they're doing. And I was like, I don't like that. And I live a block away from Baptist.
So the
old Baptist.
Right, so there's a new Baptist.
There's a new Baptist.
And then, so they have plans already for where the old Baptist is located?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and by the time they rolled it out, those plans have already been made.
What are those? I'm just curious.
Well, we still don't know yet. But at the state of the city, you know, okay, well, I'm jumping the gun. So, you know, and Bone, I appreciate you coming out too for that city council meeting. That was huge. Like we was able to get the whole community down there. To get community buy-in or something like that, it was hard.
Yeah.
And I wasn't successful until my 4th tryout because they kept making these meetings. And then I told everybody, I kind of lost it on live. I was like, this is it. This is Cluster's last stance. If y'all don't show up today, it's done. It's done. And people took heed. And it was people like Boneface, and it was other people that were just sharing it with major influence. And, you know, when people see other people that they look up to get into it, then they get into it. They follow through. And that's the same thing we were saying as OGs, you know, and it's the same thing. So, man, we showed up. We showed up and we blocked it. I couldn't believe it. I was going in ready to lose. And we did what we came to do. Now, there was a closed door meeting with the black leaders. And when I left there, I was so disappointed. I was so upset. I ain't listening to not one music. I ain't speak a word on that long ride home. And when I got home, I turned off everything that was in my house and I got on my knees. I said, God, do you want me to run for mayor? And I waited for a week, just praying, throwing up, because I was so nervous. I mean, who wants to run for mayor?
Yeah, it's a big
in
decision.
This city?
It's a huge decision.
And I was throwing up so much, and I just had to do it, man. I had to do it, especially when my job gave me the okay.
What was the disappointment? You said you met with the black leaders and there was some disappointment. Were you disappointed in the black leaders themselves, or just the topics?
I wouldn't say I wouldn't. Yeah, I just think the approach. I mean, because everybody was there for the same reason. Nobody was there to sell no one out or nothing like that. And you know, if I'm saying that, it's true. But I just didn't agree with their approach, because they come from a generation. When you say black leaders, I'm walking through doors, they're open. So their mindset is stuck in the 60s and 70s when we're not there yet. So we don't have to go that route.
Right.
We don't have to die and wait till we get to heaven. Like, we can have it right here. I don't know if they were aware of that or not. And so that's why I was like, no, I'm just running for mayor myself. And why me? It's because, man, I've been showing up for this city, for every citizen, no matter what color you are, no matter who you love, who you lay with, no matter anything, whether it's in the mental health space, advocacy. Like, my first some soft debate was at the Emerald Coast LGBT open forum. I was well received because of my mental health work. But I had to remind them, and again, my views don't line up with theirs, but there are people that shouldn't be discriminated with. Like, what they eat don't make me,
Yeah.
So to tell them that they can't have a drag show at the Singer Theater, and there's people there that are there to protest it. Now, that's their right to protest it, but still, like, hey man, there are rules to the Singer Theater. The city of Pensacola owns that. So they can't tell these folks to, whatever. So I spoke up for them. I was there for Baptists, but the things that were being said for people who share the same belief I do, like, I may not agree with everything with them, but my love for God refuses for me to hate another person.
I like that.
Yeah. And so I felt like they was not displaying that. So I wanted to remind them what their faith caused them to be. And, before I even stepped foot into that soft debate, they loved me for that, because everybody was silent. Because I tell you what, outside of the Hispanic community, man, people of that alphabet community, they got it bad, man. And again, you may not have to line up with everything about them, but when they die, they get in the casket too, and they get lowered down too, and their family cry. And so they're human beings.
Facts.
And I just think the human being aspect in this city has been lost. Regardless, like, don't get caught up with their saying down there at City Hall. Like right now, I don't know if I'm gonna get in trouble for this later, but I'm gonna say it. I love Keela Richardson. Dope.
Is that the same? Do I have the wrong person?
Nah.
I probably got the wrong person.
Gospel singer from here.
Okay, I got you. Yeah. I didn't even know she was supposed to go. You know who she is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love her, but nothing negative about her. Just absolutely love her. But she was down at City Hall, and I'm like, this is an election year, and I want to just urge people to remember the last 4 years. Remember what it was like, who was there, where your problems coming from, who allocated those funds, where did they go? If your family moved out of their house, who was behind it? Did they have property tax relief and education? Or did they just say, get out because we want to build $1 million house here?
Yeah.
Remember those things. Don't remember what is done in an election year. Don't forget who fought for you when it was popular, when I could be the only person that was there, when my life was on the line.
Yeah.
And still is. So I just don't want our people to take the eye off the ball. When I say our people, I mean black, red, brown, people who want change. If you want change in this city, you want a fair shot, you want to have input, like this is our people. Like right now, and I think we discussed this, it's not a black, white, red, that kind of thing. It's like, where are you at on the scope of what you can afford? What keeps you up at night? Is your government helping you out with that? Your local government? If they're not, then what side are you on? And your color of your skin or your political party does not dictate what that is.
I will say this though, and if you know me, you know I don't have a bias in the world. Like you could be my best friend. If it's not something I think you could do or be good at, I'm the first to tell you, like, that's not for you, right? What I will say is that you have genuinely, since I've known you, been for Pensacola. Like, you don't put on that for me. Like, even before I knew you for doing that, representing Pensacola, definitely the black community, and I do think you're for all people of Pensacola, right? My question to you would be, honestly, when you say you're running for mayor, that is a lofty goal. I don't think people realize, number one, they always say start with your local elections. That's where your power comes from, right? That is a very, very powerful position, right?
Right.
My question for you would be, number one, is it realistic? That's number one. But even if the results immediately aren't what you want, is this a fight you will continue? There will be more opportunities to run for mayor. Is this a one and done type thing, or is, if you do not succeed, it's like, hey, let's gather the troops back to the drawing board. We will get this eventually. Is this a long-term goal for you?
I think this was, I will say this, like, I don't know what the next 4 years are, because you got to think, bro. I'm like 44, you know, and I know that's still
that's young politician.
That's
young.
That's
very young.
But, you know, I just don't know. I know I would spend the rest of, depending on who's in there, you know, holding other people accountable, which when I do win, I hope people hold me accountable as well as I've held as other people accountable. I think it's some very realistic goal, because here's the thing that a lot of people don't think about. When you hear the city of Pensacola, you think Wedgewood, you think, you know, that's the whole thing that we make up in our mind. That's the city of Pensacola. But Pensacola's broken down to city limits. If you live in the county, you can't vote in this election. The win total is not unbearable.
Right.
And if you're strategic, which people who have come from my background, the only way we gotten here today is being strategic, you know.
Correct.
But if you're strategic, you do the right things, you know, and you play your hand right, oh yeah, you can definitely win, because this is how it sets up. August 19th is the primary, and the general election is in November. But if I was to take 50 plus 1%, I win in August.
Yeah.
And we see several paths to that. And just take it a step further, am I prepared to budget a $340 million city budget? Oh, absolutely. Been looking at this budget for the last month.
Gotcha.
Before I even start thinking about running, and before I just start spewing out stuff, I want to do this, I want to do that. It didn't come from my mind. I looked at the budget. I looked at the general fund. I looked at, you know, the debt, the you know, what makes up the biggest of the pie. Where do we get our money from? Where does it go out? You know, all these things, and said, can we make a citywide mental health fund? Can we, like, grow the city without, how can we protect our citizens when we're in, because I'm not anti-development, I'm just anti-development irresponsibly.
Right, misappropriation.
Right,
basically.
absolutely. I mean, like the unhoused community, why are we spending all this money and still we have this problem? We're just shuffling it throughout the city. Why are we not making that money work? Why are we not writing the charter, well, not the charter, but the budget with a people first mindset? Like, one of the first things I would want to do is, before we start that 27 budget, I want to put together a budget, a citizen budget oversight committee. You know, where the citizens tell, like, you know, we educate them on how the budget is ran, where the money comes from, and then they tell us their input. I mean, my whole thing is people first, Pensacola always.
Yeah.
And you got to put the people first. So, I mean, people believe in me, man.
No,
I appreciate that.
For sure.
And I think the belief system, and just like, I talked to Bone for a long time last week, and like he said, man, you've been showing up for a long time, and I think a lot of people have just been noticing how long I've been showing up. And so, like, my first appearance after saying I was going to run for mayor is when they was doing the city chief down at the city hall. They had a press conference, the little town hall with all 3 candidates. I walk in, gray suit, just come in. Everybody just shocked. They thought I was gonna show up with a baseball hat, And I had someone high up in the city and say, "Man, you even talking different?" I said, "No, sir." I said, "You took a snapshot of me at a podium for 2 minutes, and you decided that's who I was."
That's who I was, yeah.
Now this is how I talk regularly. I didn't go out and buy 7 suits. I got suits, so I just don't put on those labels. That's what you said, but you just didn't have the opportunity to learn who I was.
Right. But the current mayor does have D.C. Reeves, for those who don't know. He does have governor support. He does have, he was voted chair of the U.S. Mayor's Committee. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I don't know how much influence that has, but that sounds pretty important to me from being a novice on the outside looking in. So he does seem to have a shoe-in with 46% of voters being Republican in Pensacola. You know what I mean? And I know you don't have to label yourself a party or disclose your party to run for mayor, but he does seem to have all the things in place to continue to run as mayor, whether it's the support from the governor, the candidates in the city being majority Republican, which he is. Do those things give you just a fear of like, man, I'm really fighting an uphill battle? I know you think you got it. It's something that you can obviously obtain. Mm-hmm. But just for me, and I'm only asking these questions for myself.
Oh, no, for sure.
So forgive me if I'm ignorant on some of these things. It just seems for me, if I was going to make the decision to do so, looking at all the things he has in place, it's like I wouldn't be sure if I could actually take over given all the things that he has in his favor.
Yeah, that's smoke and mirror. Let me say this. I think D.C. Reeves has done a great job growing this city. Mm-hmm. He's done it irresponsibly in some cases, and some of his downfalls were huge. Mm-hmm. And not only did they upset and hinder the people normally people ignore, but now it's bleeding over to the people that you don't want to ignore if you're on that side of the aisle. So he's not as unbeatable. Now again, yes, there's a lot of accolades from him, and the last 4 years he's learned a lot. He did a lot, and like I said, I have respect for some of the achievements that he's boasted about.
Youngest man in a long time too. I think he voted in at 38. That was back in 2022. Mm-hmm. He's one of the youngest mans of all time too.
Yeah, but his mistakes has been pretty heavy.
Now, the people who he ran, his initial campaign was really run on increasing funding for police, buying heavily armored police vehicles, increasing the budget for firefighters. Are those things that you will still, I know you have your own initiative, but will you also support the police funding, support firefighter funding?
Yeah, we just got to take a look at everything, because again, like, that general funding, like the average citizen thinks that $340 million budget comes out of that general funding, and it doesn't. Those are one of those fundings you can't really take that away. That is self-sufficient. You can't really mess with it.
For sure.
But it's the way that you go about it. And some of those things I would like to see the actual numbers on what he said, because again, D.C. Reeves, which I think that people will give me the benefit of the doubt on as well, was D.C. Reeves worked at War Chant.
I'm not familiar.
That's the Florida State beat writing.
Okay.
Jim Fisher used to clown him. Not in a good way, but and then he was a restaurant owner. So he had no government experience. Oh
wow! So before he initially ran, he had no political experience.
Not one.
That's interesting.
And so DC came out and just started saying, in my opinion, stuff.
Correct.
and I'm being a little bit more responsible the way I'm making campaign promises because, I think I'll be held to a different standard. Mm-hmm. And that different standard is my standard. I want to not just win, and I don't have to go down as a Pensacola Hall of Fame. I want to make sure when I leave here, people are in a better position.
Right. So what I'm hearing from you is not that you want to necessarily change the ideas of the current regime, like whether it's funding police or funding firefighters or whatever. You just want to make sure the funds are actually going where Pensacola says the funds are actually going.
Yeah.
If it's to help the homeless community, if it's to help the mental health community or the, whatever these funds are allocated for, you just kind of want to legitimize the office.
Right. Because sometimes the funds can be put in places to protect certain people. Mm-hmm. You look at some of them funding, and sometimes developers are put over people. Mm-hmm. If you even, I don't want to start throwing out some of the things that I want to do, but those funds could be allocated in a way where it protects people first.
Right.
Because again, if you start talking about you finna move money from public safety,
correct,
you don't need to be mayor. It's just the way they need to be set up.
And that's what I wanted them to hear you say, because I know the first thing that they're going to do, if you start to make headway or become a fear to him, he'll start to try to turn his base against you, saying that you want to defund the police or a bunch of stuff that you've never said. Mm-hmm. You just want to legitimize where the funds are going. So I definitely think it's important because if your goal is to just legitimize the office, I think anybody can get behind that, no matter who you voted for previously.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I'll tell you this. My mama and my auntie, when they're in their homes, and if somebody kick down that door and have them at gunpoint, that 911 not only should be fast, those police not only should be fast, they should be hauling ass to them. Same with your mom, or anybody else's mom.
Right.
So the funding the police is just outrageous. But what you can do is put the right people in place to make sure there's accountability, responsibility, and that citizens are citizens and we are there to protect them and not to have a police state on them.
Agreed. Now, how much do you fear? Let me not even use the word fear. What concern are you that political battles, they get dicey, they get messy, they go to researching your background. I know you've been very transparent about what you come from and who you are now, the transition. How much do you think that plays a role in you actually becoming mayor?
And let me add to that question too. America has a strange way of making it extremely uncomfortable for a black man that has the audacity. How do you navigate that as well?
Just by being a person first. And the way I say that is so we knocked on doors first. We went over to scenic first, and just sitting down, talking to them, just talking. You'll be surprised. You'll be surprised at how some of them think. It's a lot of NPAs over there, non-party affiliates. So, and you got to also think, there's a lot of northerners, or as they call snowbirds here, and they come from a big blue state where they're progressive. I think some of the biggest misconception, is that, if they want to go pull up stuff on me, whatever, because they will. And that's when I'm at my best. So if you do it, I think that'd be a big mistake, but I challenge you to do it. But I think that, it's just, man, nothing about me has been a lie, and I want to shout out Bill Marshall too. Bill Marshall was on a podcast last night, and I had comment on it, and I clicked off of it. Somebody came back and told me what he said. He said, one thing I love about Jermaine is that he gonna fall on that sword. When he wrong, he gonna be like, my bad. I was wrong. Let's move forward. Right. So, it's just more so about just taking ownership of who you are. Because, when you try to hide stuff, then that's when you're on the defense. That's when you're on your heels. When you take ownership of something, because here's the thing, man, they know I'm black. I can't hide that I'm black.
And I was going to say, and that makes the forgiveness and people looking past that a lot different too.
Yeah.
Because we can have a person that runs the country, you feel me, with a background that's criminal, you feel me, and to a degree that most of us would be in jail for life. And it's like you still have the privilege of running the country. I've done business with guys to where we walk in the same space and my credentials are better, you feel me, I have more money, you feel me, I have more to offer. And we've done this experiment where we walk in and I get shut down and the next week he's on a boat fishing with the owner. And I just think, I think it would be naive for a lot of people to ignore that that's a major part of it, you feel me? It's like our mistakes aren't forgiven or looked past like theirs would be, you feel me? Because it's just like the Super Bowl. I think we have selective everything. We have selective comprehension, we have selective understanding, you feel me? We have selective grace, you feel me? And we grant it to whoever we feel like, you feel me, we're comfortable with. And we'll use that as a weapon whenever we feel like it as well.
Yeah.
That's the key. That's a good word. You use the word comfort. And there's a fine line between comfort and racism. You cannot blame people for what they are comfortable with.
Facts.
Yeah. I think we all have a comfort level. If I walk in the room, I always use this example. If I walk in the room, let's say I don't know what's going on. It's 100 black people over here and 100 white people over here. And I just want to ask a question like, hey, what we doing in here? I'm gonna go to the black side, but hey, bro, what we doing? I'm not gonna go ask. And it could be 100 bad black people and 100 amazing white people. I'm just gonna drift over here because I don't know nobody. So so when I see the skin color, my familiarity, my comfort level is already over here. So I cannot blame whites or any race, Latinos for that matter, excuse me, for having that comfort level. But how do we get people out of the visual portion of it and to listen to what you're verbally saying?
And that's what I was going to say. Right. I didn't mean to cut you off. No, but one thing that, like, we've been campaigning for, 2 months now, something like that. The one thing that trumps discomfort is bringing up a topic that they can't help but to, like, grasp for. When I bring up, I got 5 pillars that I'm running on. When I bring up that mental health and addiction, I don't care how much money you got. You can't buy nobody sobriety. You can't buy nobody wellness. You know, like now there's a lot of people on another side of the tracks. They got all the money and they send them California, Texas, all these places, and they come back the same. So when they was like, well, what made you, I mean, it's happened. Like I can look in a person's eyes and they're respecting me for giving me the respect just to hear me. I don't know if they're listening, but they're hearing. And then when I bring up, mental health, due to my lived experience, tell me about your lived experience. Why do you have mental health? I've never, because I'm not down in other candidates. Like, yes, parking downtown is a drag. And a lot of people don't like it. But when you're talking about mental health and mental illness, let me tell you something. This area, Escambia County, has been number 1 in opioid overdose deaths per capita in the state for the last 5 damn years. And so many people has lost loved ones. The opioid abatement fund is a fund that the government getting people addicted to those prescription pills, they had to kick back. Yeah. So everybody gets it. Every portion of the state country get opioid abatement fund. How we spend our money of that opioid abatement fund is tragic, dog. I know that the sheriff was able to walk in with no RFP process, was able to get $500,000 for fentanyl protection gear for his people, for officers. Right. Now, I believe that officers should be protected by that. But how about let's use that money what it's definitely intended for, because that money was made on the backs of getting people addicted. But we just ignore it. It's so hard to get whether it's state, federal, right here. So just circling back to what you're saying, is just that when you start talking about certain issues that hit home and you have that lived experience, right, and you went through the fire and they see that you don't even smell like smoke from that fire, and they're like, how you do that and how you gonna do that for us? Because they'll never tell you, oh, my son, this and this and that. I went, we talked off air about self-directed care. I came to city council when I was living in Jacksonville not that long ago, and I tried to present it to them, and did they want to buy in on it? And this one city council woman, I can't think of her name, she said, I'm a city council woman. I have went up and down the state trying to get my son help, and I can't get it, and I can't afford it. What you got sounds good, we just don't have the money for it. Irresponsible budgeting. Mm-hmm. I will come in there first 90 days, one of the first things I'm gonna take care of.
Man, are you too honest, Abe, in this? For I'll put it to you this way. Let's say, think about 100% of who you are as a human being, right? You don't have to say it out loud, but just 100% of who you are, right? Mm-hmm. How much of that do you have to, and a percentage number, how much of that do you have to get rid of to be a politician? Like, for instance, I'll use myself as an example. Do I think I could run for political office? Sure. I think I can button up, fit, but I have to get rid of a lot of who I am to be a proper politician. You know, whether it's from the way I talk in general or what I'm willing to voice my opinion on. How much of Mr. Williams has to die to be a proper politician?
A lot.
Okay. What's the number? Give me a number. Just curious.
I to play it safe, I say 75%.
That's a large percentage.
It is. But again, you got to think, I don't even know how long I've been away from rap. It's been a while. I came in rapping at 14. I love them four-letter words. Florida State has sucked. Florida State has been so sorry. Do you know how many times I've cussed out Mike Norvell from my living room? Yeah. So it's just like certain words I just can't use. I just want to say like, hey man, because I want to open up to y'all and just say, look, and speak the language that I know y'all understand. But then like now it's a whole nother vein. I have young kids stopping me at Walmart and just want to shake my hand. We was at the Benito Bowl. This Latin lady just came to me with her 2 kids and said, can you shake my kids' hands? They were super young. Yeah. So it's a different responsibility, but here's the thing. I'm thankful for that 75% going, because if you hold on to who you are, we said it earlier, you won't grow. You won't grow. And I'm just thankful to have another opportunity. I thought I couldn't grow no more before this year, but here I am still growing.
And I think what's unfortunate for you is that that 75% with you has to change permanently. With other people that run, it has to change temporarily. Yeah, so it's just like there's going to be such a large microscope on you that you don't get to even take 2%, 5% of that back. You have to become that 75% you lose and replace the whatever 75 you replace it with. You have to become that. You feel me? You have to stay that. So that's why when he asked you that question earlier about, is it something that you kind of are geared up to do over and over again? Yeah. Because my thing is like, once I become something, right? I'm that. You feel me? Once I go out to be a politician, that's what I am. There's no turning this off.
I feel that.
Yeah, there's no going backwards, especially from where you sit. You feel me? Because even after this is over, however it plays out, that microscope is going to be on you, and people are going to be looking forward to change. And that goes into the question I want to ask you next, is that I think in our community, there's a whole lot of, I don't want to say monkey see, monkey do, because that's just like, you feel me? Exactly, you feel what I'm saying? But there's a whole lot of copycatting going on, right? To where people will see you do something, right? And we have a bad habit of, instead of getting behind it, we want to become it too. You feel me? So it's just like Jermaine running for mayor. It's like, I could do it too if he doing it. It's like, no, brother, how about you get behind it? You feel me? For sure. Yeah, so I think the last thing I want to see is a trend of a bunch of unqualified people jumping into space that they shouldn't be in and just making it harder for the people who actually care. So that's why I say once you change that 75, you got to kind of stay there.
You kind of do. And the thing is, it's like, okay, so let me phrase this in a way that won't turn off voters, man. When I say don't turn off voters, because again, you could say certain things and all they're going to hear is a keyword they're going to shut down. And I don't want them to shut down over certain over my verbiage. So I just want to make sure I say this correctly. But there were some people in Tallahassee that saw me speak since I announced running for governor my first weekend. National powerhouse. he is involved in his party's selection of who's running for president now.
Yeah.
And he was like, you might be our future governor. I'm thinking, because after these 4 years, I don't think I'm running again. But I know, but we don't know the future. But I know one thing, I'm going to do such a great job for the people. The boss going to say hi for whoever coming behind me. Because, it's rare. Because even still, here's the thing, bro, they pay the mayor handsomely. In my opinion, I come from nothing. You know what I'm saying? I manage the bills. I work 2 good jobs. Right now, I'm a working candidate. I can manage anything. But I come from Morris Court. I'm from Morris Court, the old Morris Court. So what they pay the mayor per year, I could take care of my son and contribute comfortably. I can focus on what I'm doing. A lot of people get greedy, man. And there's a lot of handshakes that goes on with those developments that take, the 100,000 that you're making can turn into a couple $100 million. I don't need all that. Like, the people that put me here for a reason. Politics change people. It won't change me. But the thing is, anybody can do what I'm about to go in here and do. Anybody. It takes a pure human being that would to stand on what you run on. Because it's one thing that candidate such and such and mayor such and such are 2 different people. But that won't be my case. And when you go in there with pure intentions and you deliver on pure intentions to people that voted for you or didn't, people that's struggling, people that's going through things, and you just making sure everybody's taken care of the best of your ability. Everything is fair, balanced, every decision, make sure the citizens that's impacted by it will have a fair shake of displaying what they think about it. And when you see the numbers of, even if you may do a couple things they don't agree with, but you're like, hey, this guy is just pure honest. He's doing everything with good intentions, and most of his decisions I benefited from. And then you have an asshole come behind me, it's going to be hard.
Yeah. Question is though, there's a very, very rare case that pure and politician line up. I think a lot of the times beneficial outweighs pure. So how do you find the balance between the 2?
The only balance is pure, to me. And the reason why I say that is because, like, just being honest is that I've been, just like we all have, your hood ain't even here no more. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people that came up in places that's not the Aragon Court. You think about those kind of things. I've lived that and will never forget that. I never forget the displacement of the people behind my grandmama's house. They're gone. They're not coming back to that area. And man, the neighbor behind us, man, she was almost 80. They took her for a ride, dog. They took her house. The city took that land. I don't even think they gave her 15 grand, bro. I never forget that. So it's just lived experience. Lived experience shaped who we are. And, to me, when you're no matter who you believe in, but if you are a man of faith, no matter what your faith is, when you believe that God has brought you here, Moses didn't sell out when Pharaoh could have offered him gold. He was there on the mission. I'm here on the mission. And no amount of gold is better. Like I said, what they pay you salary-wise, I can send my son to college. I don't need all that. So, the best thing to do is to remain pure and just stick to what got you there. Because the moment, I'm gonna be honest with you, I think, now if I want to think of my biggest hurdle when I'm in that seat, it's picking the right people, because I never believe in being the smartest man in the room. And, when you have your city administrator, you have your parks and recs, you have all these people, you got to make the right decisions because they're going to be giving you input for you to make your decision. You get the wrong person in there that can be moved by the way that you can't be moved.
That was going to be my next question. I was going to say, I believe in you, but I think it's going to be extremely difficult to believe that a pure person can surround himself with other pure people in that space that you're in. And I just think that's a tough spot.
Can I give an opinion? I don't have this is an opinion, not a question. And the reason why I phrased it like that, because I don't want anybody to think that these views are your views. Okay?
Right, because that's something that happens in a space like this.
Exactly.
Like everything we do, that's why we're on our best behavior, because we know, sadly.
I don't wonder why y'all so quiet.
We understand that we don't have the privilege of being ourselves without it being attached to you.
For sure.
Other candidates can go in spaces, and the host and whoever can be as belligerent and ignorant and rude as possible, and they'll say it wasn't him. You feel me? So like I said, selective.
Right.
So it's like when you come in this space, we don't have no alcohol in here. You're not gonna get a whole lot of cursing. It's just because we understand that, like, when you are who you associate with. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah, so we got to manage ourselves in a certain fashion.
Especially with us. And I just, and a big reason also why I say it's an opinion, because you can respond to this or not.
Okay.
Because I think some of this you might can take in if you want to, if not, whatever. But I don't want it to hurt your candidacy at all, right? This is my opinion just in politics in general.
Okay.
I look at a person like President Obama, right? And if you know any of my political affiliation, I'm not Democratic or Republican. I think that to have 300 million people in a two-party system is utter insanity. You know what I'm saying? You can tell me I can only think two ways, but it's 300 million of us. I just don't.
Yeah, agreed.
But I think something that we can all agree on is if you're a person of color or a person if you're a female gender, it's a bit difficult for you to move up the ranks in politics, right? So in order for Obama to get to the point where he could even run for president, I believe there's a song and dance he had to play. I believe there are decisions that he had to make that if we were there to see, we would cringe at. Like, he went with that, you went for, but there's a push-pull, You You cannot jump in a game that's hundreds of years deep, there's so many tentacles when it comes to politics. There's so many relationships and stuff. There's people connected to politics you don't even know exist. They just got a pocket full of money, and you're responsible to those people, and I do not believe that you could move up the ranks or even do any good in politics if you're not willing to get a little dirty. That's just my personal opinion. I believe that in order to have a pure agenda, you will have to do something, not you necessarily doing something, but making a decision about something that you don't feel like is morally right. I don't believe you could do one without the other. Whatever that decision may be is beyond me. I don't know. But I just think for a black man, especially, that in order to get the approval of the people you need, even once let's say once you get in that position, this is after the victory, this is you officially being stamped as such, in order to perform in the way you want to, I do believe that there's going to have to be some push-pull there on some decision-making. That's just my overall opinion of politics,
And that's what I was trying to kind of get around to without saying too much. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
But you kind of share my opinion.
And see, and that's the difference though between number one, local, federal, state. So this maintaining local. Then also when you ask why mayor, it's not like the city council like that. Okay, let me not use city council because that's a bad example. It's not like the county commission. Like we have our county commissioner of District 3. You have to the majority of the votes win, so you got to line those votes up. But when you're talking about the mayor, I respect what you're saying and I get it
for sure.
But when you want to talk from a pure place, you gotta learn that budget.
Yeah.
You gotta know everything about that budget. You gotta know all levels of it, how it's spent, and all those things. The only thing that can really stand in your way is the charter of the city. So even when you do because we have the strong mayorship now, so city council is not just running the city, and the mayor just don't have no power, just a figurehead and just cut rivers. It's not like that no more.
Right.
So for you to have the city with the city charter. You could come in as a strong mayor, you can make these decisions, but city council got to get on board. City council go against you, you can veto it. But then you go to a veto, then now city council has to vote on it, and you have to win by a certain amount of numbers to get your veto power through.
Yeah.
So I can see that as lining up as the only way that, you might have to really sit down with a person and express why. why this work? Why am I doing this?
For sure.
But not like, okay, what can I do for you?
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, please don't take, this is just, I respect your campaign and I'm on board for you. I hope you can prove to me it can be done another way. I just think that there's a difference between a good man and a righteous man. A righteous man will always stand for right. A good man also does bad things, right? But I believe to be a good man and a politician makes you a righteous politician. Does that make sense? I don't believe you can be a righteous man and a politician, but I believe you can be a good man and be a politician, and that makes you a righteous politician. You see what I'm saying? That's how I feel. And so if you do get in that position of power, let me start saying that too. When you get in that position of power, I don't want you to be so hard. There's going to be very few people that tell you, hey man, don't be so hard on yourself. The journey that you're about to embark on is going to be one of a kind. Very specific to you, very specific to your race as well. And, there may be some decisions that you make that makes you feel internally as a righteous man that I believe you are. It may make you feel unwell, but you'll still be able to do good by making said decisions.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sometimes you got to do some evil to feed the people.
Yeah, and you know what? And I could go for that because there's going to be people that don't line up with your views, but you're their mayor too. And some of the things that you may have to, and I can see eternally, to where hey, there's a whole devil worshiping community here, but that don't mean that they're people too.
They votes count too.
And not even votes, their lives count. And it's like I can't be like, nah, y'all pray to my God, so I ain't rocking with y'all. No, I mean it's gonna be some things to where I may have to, assist them or fund them or whatever. I don't know, whatever a situation may be. Right. And I'm gonna have to go against my own personal morals, but they fall under the city, which is under my leadership. Right. And I have to, just like any mental health position, I have to leave Jermaine at the door. I'm the mayor.
Right, because your morals aren't the people's morals. You gotta be neutral.
Yeah, because I tell you what, everybody getting a fair shake. I mean, might be people that love to say hard R.
Is that possible though for everybody to get a fair shake in politics?
People gonna lose. You know what I'm saying? But I just want to see people win more than they lose. Because everybody can't get everything. Because then somebody it just don't work that way.
But you can lose it within fair. It can be fair. You can still lose. A fair fight, somebody got to lose.
Yeah, absolutely. Because it's just people care about 5 things at the same time. You might not get those 2, but as long as you get those 3, okay, I can respect that because prior administration, I got half of one thing.
Right.
So and that's the way it be. That's the way it be.
I want to ask an off question, and this for me, this is the last one I got for you. This has nothing to do with you as mayor. I just want to ask both of y'all this question. It's just something I wonder. Did black people miss an opportunity with Trump? That sounds a bit ridiculous, but I want you to try to rewind back in time where he was not even the candidate they wanted in the primary, right? So this is before Trump as you know him, right? Where he was willing to take on any voters that wanted to back him, right? So we see how he supports his base now, right? Radical, whatever. So let's rewind back to where he didn't even have that base. And he was just open to anything. And let's say we became his base. Trump will support anything that supports him. You hear me? Trump was the first one, even though we don't agree with none of the stuff he did. But he actually got in office and on day one tried to do it immediately. He didn't go through no protocols or nothing. I'm here today, all right, what are the papers? He just went in like that. Did we miss an opportunity there? Because we never going to get, now, reparations is illegal now. Did you know that? There's a bill that makes giving black people reparations an illegal thing. You can no longer do that.
But that's
now, can it be changed? Sure, but
it's California got it.
What?
San Francisco.
But it wasn't issued to it issued to them as a race as in California?
I think they're still trying to work it out, but it's getting down, and I think in North Carolina. But I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I moved to Cali. If that's the thing. But my thing is, did we miss an opportunity to latch on to somebody who was dumb enough? I say that loosely, dumb enough to do the right thing. Does that make sense? What did we? If we had let's just say we were the Trump base and we wore the Make America Great Again because it was black people's agenda, Trump would have supported that, in my opinion. If we voted for him and we were the first people to sign up for him, Trump don't give a shit who support him, or as long as you Trump, I'm gonna do whatever. Like, did we miss an opportunity? Because our other politicians ain't gonna give us nothing. There has never been a politician that signed up to support the black agenda. It just hasn't happened. I don't see it happening. Was that a window, like a small crack, where we could have got just a non-politician to get in there and show us love?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
It's an opportunity. I think because I mean, portions of his base, he turned his back on quickly.
Yeah, but you can't. Yeah. But which part? Give me that. What part did he turn his back on? Other than the 45% of Latinos that voted for him, he seemed to not care.
That's the ones I'm talking about.
Yeah, but they jumped in that on their own. Yeah. Like, they did the whole "I not black" thing, and you found out that you were a person of color. But but I think his white base. You think he turned his back on some of them?
Mm-hmm. Especially like the ones in West Virginia, the coal miners. Like, just by, the deportations and the ICE raids, now farmers are struggling to find workers because people are scared to go to work, even if they're here on the work visa or, in right standing.
Did you see what they did to that Honda factory to them people on the work visa? That was insane.
You talking about from China?
No, these were, they were working here. I don't want to say, I'm guessing they were Mexican. Forgive me if I'm wrong. But they were working here on a work visa for Honda or Hyundai, one of the two, and they were training American workers. And some lady just called and was like, they got illegals in there. Man, ICE came and put all the people in handcuffs, made all the people show they identify, like, just because a random person called.
$1 billion deal for us. Like, that was going to pay dividends for this country. They packed up and went home. They were from China, I think.
Oh, they might have been. I mean, that blew my mind, bro.
Yeah, I think with him it was it's just a situation of prolonged death, to where, like, you're gonna die eventually anyway. But you can buy yourself a little more life by supporting me now. But
do you think we could have got a little something real quick, like we can, like day one when he got in there before? Because that's back when he was meeting with Jim Brown.
Yeah, but I think he was I think he was a politician that would have did anything to win. But I think once he won, his agenda was his agenda.
But we could have got some paperwork real quick. We could have got some quick all black people free college. Like,
right, but that's why I said I think it's prolonged death, because I think anything he promised he was going to take back. He's gonna find a way to erase it at some point. So I just and it's like I feel the way I know you. Felt the way I know you feel initially, but like watching how everything played out, bro. This is already like a master plan of how we gonna do this. It's just like drawing you in, and when I get you in here, it's just like I'm gassing everybody.
That's true, but I tell you what, American politics will never be the same again.
No,
I mean, because
I guarantee you, he gets another term. He about to change all the rules.
I don't think so.
If the Rock run, it's all he gonna lose.
Oh, this man ain't making it. I don't think he's gonna make it past another 2 years. This midterms. Yeah. I mean, listen, we're seeing things all over this country. Miami just voted their first female mayor, who's Latino. Like, states that are extremely, Escambia County just flipped blue for the first time in I think ever last year. Like, there's ripple effects. I don't know, this midterm election gonna tell it all. And if he lose that house, and if he lose that Senate, he's going back. He's getting out of here.
It just feels like a dictatorship is on the way, and it's just like it feels like that's what I'm telling you. It feels like civil war. It feels like a dictatorship is coming into place. I feel like there's about to be a fight for the new structure of how things go.
For sure.
You feel me? So I don't think the houses and none of that matters, because there's about to be a fight for what matters and what counts. Wow. And I don't think people see that coming. Because, like you say, he's not going in peace, and there's a lot of people that are going to stand with him.
And keep in mind, that part right there, as much as people are flipping, there is a whole lot of human beings.
And I think we're not factoring in either. Like, people talk about fights and war and all of these things, right? But we don't understand that, like, war is not boots on the ground no more. It's who controls the technology, who controls things. And it's just like whoever's the position he's in, he controls a lot. And that's why.
But you're still gonna need some boots.
You're still gonna need some boots. But what I'm saying, right? But what I'm saying is, like, even watching this whole, like, bro, ICE is the same thing as the KKK, just different letters.
Man.
You feel me? So it's just like watching, like, people just snatch people up randomly with, I don't need no reason. I don't need I just can do it. And you don't get to resist. Yeah. How insane is that?
And people got to stop with this whole, this is not a political thing when it comes to ICE. Let's stop all this. It's about border control. And man, nobody debating nothing. We're debating on how you're handling human beings.
Right.
And I don't care. You cannot say that God is the leader of your country. God bless America is on our money, right? Mm-hmm. Don't tell me that you're a Christian. You know how many people that will claim that they're a white Christian American and still approve of how people being held? Mm-hmm. You can't tell me that. Mm-hmm. You cannot tell me God will be okay if he exists the way you claim he exists. You cannot tell me he'll be okay with the way you handling people.
But see, and I think that goes back to what I said at the beginning of the show. I think the way that what is being magnified through the masses right now, because I think what people it's not really paying attention to is the steam that I regret my vote movement is getting. Mm-hmm. It's getting some huge thing. Right. But what they showcase is the red hats all day, forever, for life, and that's not what you see when you go into like the people control algorithms like TikTok and those kind of things. That's not what you're seeing. Like the guy that called in the C-SPAN, the old man. From New Mexico, after the video of what was posted with Obama and Michelle, former First Lady Michelle, I mean, the emotion in this guy, he broke down, like apologizing to the country for voting for him.
For sure.
And like, I thought I would never hear that, because his base is a base that we all wish we would have the loyalty like that. Mm-hmm. Like they got, man.
Because everybody who voted Republican is not a bad person. Everybody who voted Democrat is not a good person. When everybody has a different set of beliefs, but there are people, no matter what you believe in, do you have a heart or don't you have a heart? There are humans out here being mistreated, you know what I mean? And that's what it all boils down to. So you do have a lot of people turning on their television or looking at their algorithm, seeing humans being treated in a way that they couldn't imagine. I don't want to make it a race thing, but as a black person, sometimes it's like, we told you, but it didn't matter at that point in time because it wasn't everybody being treated like that.
Like they say, nothing is your issue until it arrives on your doorstep. That's why I hate to hear people say, well, now they get a taste of what we have to deal with. Yeah. And I'm just like, bro, what you got to understand, bro, is that if you're watching something happen to somebody, it's a matter of time before it happens to you. Sure. So you better care.
Right.
You feel me? It's like you said, it's a human thing. It's not a race thing. It's a human thing. Yeah. And it's a wild thing to watch humans be treated in that fashion. And you think you're immune to it, bro. It's storming. It's coming your way too.
Yeah. And except people who open your eyes. Maybe they didn't see it until now, but now that they see it, because you're going to need everybody. Like you said, if it ever is a civil war and it's all hands on deck, whatever, you're going to need people of like minds, not like skin. You understand? So you better be able to accept the people who now can see what you were talking about.
I tell you what, there's someone here locally that have a podcast, the reddest podcast ever. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about they defend everything from that side of the house. She messaged me today. She said, I need your help. I said, what you need my help for? She said, Epstein file. I'm sick, I'm done. And I couldn't believe it because this person never wavered. Like, I think.
It's black female?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
A Trumper. Hard ER. Okay. Like Trumper. Like she's like, I'm sick of it. I'm done. Like me and you have went back and forth in ideology. Like, cause I never cause I like to debate. Mm-hmm. So I'm debating policies. I'm not debating hate. I'm debating policies and what makes sense to the American people, what doesn't. And I believe, that base, they just defended. They're in defense mode. But when I got that message today, I was like, I looked at the person next to me. I said, "Boy, I know the devil got a heated blanket on."
Yeah, and I just feel like it's always sad though when people come to a realization that they made a mistake and the house already burned down. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you feel me? Mm-hmm. That'd be a thing. I just think it takes for people to like actually see something go up in flames before they realize that, damn, that was a bad idea. Mm-hmm. And they'll stand on what they feel while the match is being struck, while the gasoline is being poured, and while it's on fire. And when it's burned down, they say, oh man, we was tripping, and it's too late. That's my only concern, is that like people are gonna wake up when it's too late. That's my concern.
But I do, call me naive, but I do think that unity in Pensacola can really happen here, like how we always wanted it to happen. I think a lot of people are waking up to see we're not that different. And maybe I'm naive. I don't know, but I love to believe that, and I think it could happen.
And I don't think you're naive in that aspect, because I believe that. But I do. My belief is that once we finally wake up and realize we're all the same, we're going off to fight to die. You feel me? Together. You feel me? We're going against the fight. Because sometimes we'll build a monster and all have to fight it. Yeah. But we've built the monster so big that it takes more than just us to fight it now. That's my concern.
Yeah. Well, and one thing I do love about Pensacola, I really do, is that, and I don't know when this changed, or maybe I was just have my blinders on, but red, blue, whatever, when you piss them off and a person of power, elected official, they done with you. They don't care what their class is or none of that. Listen, I have a shot. I have more than a shot. And I think I'm gonna win. And it goes back to, you know, everything that's stacked up to what we're running against. Just piss people off in the wrong way. You know, there's a lot of things that happen that I would have personally done differently, but, you know, he did it the best way he thought that was possible, and the citizens didn't agree with him. That opened the door for me. I was like, it's now or never.
I was gonna say, this is if there was a time that you had a shot,
it's now. And then coming off one of the two biggest wins of my career, of my life, never. I'm like 2-32 against the city right now.
Make it a long-term vision, just in my opinion, because the time, we're living in the beginning of history. Like 100 years, they will talk about the time we're all living in today. Yeah. So the gap for you, when you say the window or the time is now, like this is, I'm talking the beginning of now. Like you're in the 10-year phase. What the world is going to look like in 10 years will blow everyone's mind. No, so absolutely. Do not make it a short-term thing at all. Do they have like a mayor's office? Like, do you get an office?
Hell yeah.
You do?
You remember when we went together and talked to the last mayor, right?
Yeah. No, that was the mayor before that.
That's what I'm saying, the one before. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
But I remember telling you, I said, bro, because we both were still doing music then at the time. I said, bro, this is the beginning of a journey that both of us will be on for a long time. And I say, I see us right now, old men in this spaces. Yeah. In this space, you feel me, making change. But I think this is the youthful version of that. This is the beginning of that, like you said. I think the real change is not gonna be something we actually like get to see. I think we're just gonna be the beginning of it. You feel what I'm saying? And I think it's gonna be something that we, you know, you watch older guys in office now, and you go look at the old photos of them and what they used to be and how they used to be, and it's just like, I think that's the path. You feel me? And I think that's the way it's gonna look. I believe you can win now, and you got the people behind you, right? But like even after that win, it's still the beginning.
It's still the beginning.
It's still the beginning.
No, you're right about that. Yeah. And I think the person coming behind me will have them. Cause like, listen, Hard Rock Cafe, if their Sky Rises, the new Bay Center, the Port of Pensacola, the expansion where you could get a direct flight from here to Alaska, whatever it may be, all that is exciting. No one is against that, but it should not come at the expense of our grandmama losing her house. Yeah. Or it should not come at the expense of the city workers making like $7 less pay than Mobile, you know? So it's just like, no, we're not anti-growth, we're not anti these things, but it just gotta be done responsibly. And I think that people will be able to see that, because the stigma, and it's probably well deserved, but the stigma on politicians, we talked about it a lot, it's terrible.
Yeah, it's terrible. And I'm naive, right? Can both happen? Can your grandma keep her house, and can we still have that same growth?
Yeah, I mean, giving these developers incentives to make sure we protect those certain people. You know, like
because anytime I see something new, there's nothing old that exists within that new.
But can't grandma just get the hell up out that house? I ain't gonna lie. Like, I get that she want to stay there, but like, can we just get proper compensation for this home? Like, if you're gonna put up this, brand new multi-million-dollar facility. Can grandma at least get her proper compensation for this thing?
Well,
Can we not give her peanuts and the family not know no better, and you taking the $10,000 or whatever they offering you, and then they build up a whole.
And can we get some guidance and some education once she touches that money?
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That should be offered from the city.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, when you're not educated properly, they're waiting for you to make that miseducated decision.
They offer your grandma $650
right
for the house. You paid $10,000 for. Grandma, you better get about this. You better get about this house.
Yeah.
I know you love it here, but it's, you know.
But you know, there's funds. Believe it or not, there's funds in certain neighborhoods in different districts. You know, urban development and those things. But they could be moved around and used for different things. Like again, that general fund, you don't want to touch too much of that. And then now you're gonna take a dip of public safety. You're gonna take a dip of, you know, just all kind of things. But with those neighborhood funds, you kind of move things around. For instance, the CRA for the West Side.
What's that? So people know the CRA.
Don't give me the line right now. It's pretty much urban development.
Okay.
So it's just like a fund for the West Side, right? District 7.
Okay.
Let's say they got like $5 million.
Okay.
You cannot take that money and spend it on District 4. It has to remain in District 7. But luckily, Baptist was there in District 7. So Baptist, they was a little short on the demolition. It's like $14 million just to bring it down. Sheesh. That was a little short.
But I get a hammer.
Man, get some of my dog, boy. Get up for it.
We'll get that thing down.
Well, where do you think they got that money from?
Probably somewhere else.
They got it from they got it from the CRA.
Okay.
And that's why I kept telling everybody. The first time when you saw me got so mad that I end up just cussing everybody out. Because I'm like, yo, we need to get down there. And I was down there by myself. I was heartbroken. And I explained it to everybody. They about to take, so the money that they use for the city, that's to help fix grandmama house. That's to help. People, they ain't even using the funds what they're supposed to use it for.
How much of, not to cut you off, but how much of what's happening, right, is allowed to happen based on our miseducation and being uninformed of what politics are and what's happening?
Pretty much all that.
Because I think a lot, because I watch you, right, and I think the issue with our community a lot of the times is we send one person to fight 100 people, right?
And then they criticize you the way
they criticize the way you fight.
Yeah.
But I think, and it's like in order for you to be in your position, you had to go do your homework. You had to go learn these things. You had to go learn how it works. You feel what I'm saying? Because you didn't grow up in politics. You had to go learn it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Right? So if there are courses or spaces to where we could all learn about politics and learn how things go and learn how they function, now it's like, because my thing is like, God forbid something happened to you. The fight dies right there because nobody else is educated on it. But if you have, like I always say that any army should not, any band should not like have a head of a snake that you can chop off and the rest of the fight dies. You feel what I'm saying? But I just feel like we so uninformed and like not educated, uneducated in certain areas to where we don't really even understand what we showing up for. Like people that show up to a council meeting or something and not even know what they're fighting for. They're just waiting on you to talk and they're just following you. You feel what I'm saying? Which leads to a situation to where you can mislead people if you choose to too.
Yeah, for sure.
So I just think that we need to like figure out how we can educate people in these spaces so that way they can make better decisions, because we most of the time, like you coming on here, right, I'm not that educated in it. So I listen, and I ask the questions that are relevant to me. But when you get deep into it, into the meat and bones of it, I'm just like, kind of like, most people are going to be lost. And I think that's an issue in itself.
Yeah, no doubt, for sure, man. And I think you spot on with that. And see, that's what made me so mad about Baptist, because like, I'm telling everybody, they're taking all this money from our CRA, our historical neighborhood. They're using it to bring down Baptists. They're not hiring people from that historic neighborhood. Then they finna redevelop, and it's not for people from that historic neighborhood
out to somewhere else the entire time.
An hour. And so Well, you said something, and I think this just pretty much what it is. Brother, they are scared of me. Mm-hmm. Not Jermaine, the traction. Mm-hmm. The it's not black vote. It's not the whatever, the young vote. It's not the black vote. It's just the big band with bro.
You're an idea, bro. You're a movement. You're
for sure.
A thing that they don't want to see develop
again.
And they
just cannot. And then here's the thing, because you can't, if anyone tells you I'm pro-black, I'm this black, I have more white clients than I have anything. I have saved people's life at the expense of my lived experience, almost losing my own life at my own hands. Mm-hmm. I have saved a lot of people's lives and now they are having families, and they'll never forget when no one else showed up to a suicide call. I showed up out my bed just because somebody tagged my name and they called me on Facebook. Mm-hmm. Or a family that I was able to bring back together after the addiction tore them apart. Or someone that was in the DCF system. By trade, I had to show up, and not only did I reunite their family, I changed the scope of what they thought was possible. Yeah. And they're walking into it. So forget about what I did for the black community. Forget about what I did for the LGBT. I'm just a people person. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter. If you're in need, I'm showing up. And so when you get that, and I went into the city, the state of the city. First off, I can't wait till I get my first state of the city. I might do it at the 8:50. Who knows? We need to get that. That's it. You can wrap that up. But when I went there, the mayor saw me come in. Mm-hmm. He automatically got nervous. Cause you gotta understand, me and the mayor have a relationship already. Mm-hmm. I've sat in his office, and we went back and forth about Baptists, and I show up at City Hall and I tell him in front of everybody, yada yada. So we were this is just two men that have just tore up their sides of the field in the tournament, and now here we are. Mm-hmm. With respect to the other candidates. Mm-hmm. But so I walk in, and then it's the head of Parks and Rec, mm-hmm. that come and shake my head. The deputy city administrator come shake my hand. Jim Little from the PNJ come and shake my hand. Eric Gross, who everybody was pissed he didn't become police chief. Now I sat in there, and I was sat in the Sanger Theater, and I walked up to Eric. I said, Eric, you won that. You won that. Not because you're from Pensacola. You just was progressive. You won it. He came and shake my hand. So it's just like the momentum. Not from my side, not from the people I just spoke about. It's the people who laughed when I announced that first, mm-hmm. are now taking me dead serious. Yeah. Or the people that didn't laugh, that was like, oh, here we go. Mm-hmm. This gonna get interesting. It's like, it was nothing what they thought, because my hat to the back, gold in my mouth. I'm at the podium, I'm pounding it, I'm acting a fool. And then my first address, not when I announced, but I address, and I showed who I am. Jermaine Justin Williams, right. Who I am for sure, not who you thought I was. And they're like, oh man, this man smart. They don't know when I was in the 5th grade. I'm gonna be honest with you. I went to A.A. Dixon. They didn't understand the way I thought, so they labeled me special education. My mama came from Jacksonville, and she was like, you finna take my son out this special education. But then she met this white lady named Miss Pitcher. Miss Pitcher changed my life. While everybody else was doing the special ed thing, she had me over here reading about Hitler, John F. Kennedy, Robert F. Kennedy. I'm having the Seminole tribe, all this, and I'm pissed. I'm like, they over there coloring, and I'm taking my own test on Adolf Hitler and all this stuff. And then my auntie like, now this too much. You only supposed to learn about Hitler in 5th grade, you know? And that set me on the path. I fell in love with John F. Kennedy. I thought he was the greatest thing. I was like, oh my God, he was 35, he was Catholic, he was this and that, he was just so young. Oh, his brother, his Bobby, I got a brother. So now, this before YouTube and everything, this Bush #1 was president. Mm-hmm. And I'm just an encyclopedia. You remember them? And I'm just looking at pictures. And then that same lady say, my mama locked in. Whatever this lady say goes. Bruh, I so badly wanted to go to Brownsville or Workman. They sent me to Sacred Heart just because this lady said that. Sacred Heart Cathedral School. Now I'm sitting in here with nothing but white people. I'm the only black person. Now I'm learning about Catholics. And I'm learning about Pope John Paul II. And now I'm expounding on everything else that she got me to learn. Now I'm pissed. And then now when I go home from the bus, everybody in Morris Court calling me the Pope. And I'm pissed.
How old were you in that picture, bro, that you look like you was like in the civil rights movement?
You know what was so crazy? That's when I was going to Sacred Heart. I was in the 6th grade.
Okay, he got a picture, bro. He looked like he already was assassinated. He was just legit. Like, where you get that picture from, bro?
That is so funny.
Yeah, that's
I'm gonna tell you what's so crazy. The Am South and Town and Country. That picture, I named every single body in that picture. Cause see, my family this was in the 90s. This was a different time. This was where the assassinations of all the greats was only 30 years ago at that time. So they was drilling in me who we are as a people. So when that thing came up, my auntie told me, I signed you up. I went in there, I just wrote everybody's name down, I wanted to pay him. But what I was getting to at first, that lady changed the course of my life to where like I learned everything. Those people that see me for 2 minutes, pounding on the podium with my hat to the back with gold in my mouth and talking from the hood, because I can sit here and I can talk with the best of them with great diction and all that stuff, but no, I'm gonna make you learn to respect the people that you look at and you judge. But then you show up, and then you being that person that they didn't think that didn't even exist. Now they off their game.
But the gold, that's part of the 75% we get rid of, right?
Oh my God, I'm so.
Yeah, it got to go.
It's gone. It's gone.
Yeah,
it's gone.
Man,
I miss it.
Me and this man argue and debate so much in the shadows, bro, that people don't know. Like we be going at it, but it's all out of love. You feel me?
Sure,
my thing is like I believe that, right? That when you have brothers and you have friends, there's always going to be parts. If you spend enough time around a person, you're going to discover parts of them you don't like or parts you don't agree with. You feel me? And I think there has to be grace and there has to be understanding, and you too have to look at how you view things. You feel what I'm saying? But I like appreciate the relationship we have.
For sure.
You feel what I'm saying?
Because the first time I saw you, after I announced, I said, brother, you was right at that city hall meeting. Because I was like, he was like, you got to change your approach. I'm like, I ain't changing my approach. I ain't doing it.
Yeah. And my thing is like, even if I don't agree with it, it's like I still stand with you, right? And it's a thing because I think that's how the other side functions.
Yeah.
They don't chastise each other in public. They don't stand against each other in public. They handle each other behind closed doors, and they stand united on the forefront. And I think we have to get more acquainted with that message, because there's you can go on the internet right now and under every post there's gonna be 2 black people arguing over some shit that don't matter.
Yeah, that don't feel heavy on the
right. When you really like shit that doesn't, like, you feel me? So it's like that's not my thing, and it's just like my way ain't always the right way, and the way I see things ain't always the right way either.
But one thing I love is that whatever we're debating, it's about the betterment of people.
Right. And it's never a personal thing. It's never a personal
like you are one of those people, like one few of people that I've known as long as I've known that wasn't family. I didn't have ties that I grew up with in the hood. That I've never bumped heads with. Never know. It was never that.
Right.
Disagreements are just. Ooh, I even hate to use that word because it just still such a heavy negative tone to it. But just like we don't see eye to eye on that issue, but we want the same approach. We're not in a line on how to get there.
Right. But we got the same destination.
Yeah. So
when do the elections start?
August 18th.
August 18th. Okay.
And for anybody that wants any information on it, on me as a candidate, to learn more about me, go to Jermaine, JERMAINE, 4 mayor.com. You can donate there. You can find out. We need 2,100 petitions to just get on the ballot to avoid paying $4,000, half $4,500, whatever the case may be. We're not trying to pay that bread, so we would love to get those petitions signed. You could go there and get and we'll pull up on you and get the.
That should be light though. 2,100 should be light.
You'll be surprised.
I know.
Yeah. That's why you gotta pull up on people.
And you said August when?
August 19th.
August 19th. And when does it end? When does it close out?
What's that? The
To get the petition signed.
Oh, my bad. The election or the
Yeah,
petition?
the election, both.
Okay, so the petition need to be in by noon on May 11th.
Okay.
But November,
Okay.
August 19th is when the election, and it's a possibility that might be the day that decide.
Okay.
And if it doesn't, the top two go on to November.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Okay. But man, I'm proud of you, bro, and I appreciate you coming on. Like, we don't have many political podcasts, not all the way through. We do touch on stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's more his field than mine. But I don't think you have to be a politician or really understand politics to understand people.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
And I kept the jokes to a minimum today.
I sure appreciate it.
I had some rapid fire stuff. You said some stuff, and I'm like, man, I got one.
I appreciate it because I ain't gonna lie. Last time I was here, and that's why I walked in here and I was like, man, this is nice. And Bone was like, you been here, but we was filming Rescue Addiction during that time, and I think at that moment, me and your boy was up for like going on 27 hours, and I don't even remember it, but I know it was a lot of 4-letter words. There was a lot of stuff going on. We had a ball in here, but this is different. Like I love this. Like y'all showed me I can do this thing.
Yeah, sure.
And I think he really gave you a break though, because this man fired up the pastor. So
I regret that though. I could have got some better information if I had.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. I appreciate you. I appreciate it, but you know, like.
You gotta bring him back on.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be dope.
That way I could perform.
We did get a lot out of him still though, and he I've never seen somebody handle themselves, and that's why I got so much respect for him, because he can walk in any environment and handle himself, and it's not hard.
I just want to make it to where his congregation can watch, that's what I didn't. I thought about my viewers, and I didn't think about his.
And let me tell you something about that man. No,
I know him. It's okay.
No, but let me say though, he got
a
a line of candles out. Pressure. They better than the Bath and Body Works. The candles he got, they pressure. Though. Yeah. Y'all mess with Larry, man. Like that. That's pressure.
Are they gospel candles?
I thought he was saying.
I'm not gonna do it. I know you.
They're the truth.
Yeah, okay.
I mean,
But when he said he had a line of candles, I was like, "What? He got an altar or something?" Like
Yeah.
I thought he was saying something. Are you really selling candles?
Yeah, for real. They scented or
No,
red?
yeah, they
I just want to know. Yeah, that's all. Just asking.
they riding though. Like they sent the candles. They're along the lines of Bath and Body Works, and they cool.
And that's
And you probably could use them as altar candles. I don't know.
I ain't got nothing to say. Listen, I got the joke. I got them lined up.
Oh
I'm
my
gonna say
God. Y'all boys is hilarious.
That's what's up, man. I definitely appreciate you coming by. As far as the show, man, Anxiety Issues Podcast, man. I guess me and brother Bone will sit down and talk, and we'll see. You know, if we're gonna keep this thing going, be consistent with it. That's the ultimate goal. So we kind of shaping things out. Thank you for being our first episode back. And to the viewers, like I say, we will go back to comedy and the stuff you used to, but we just really thought that this was more educational and it was something important. So if you can manage to sit through the 2-3 hours that we've been talking, I think it'll be very educational for you. But hopefully we get back rolling. Appreciate all the support. I'm Adam Taylor. This is my brother Boneface and Boneface Inc. And we out of here. I'm used to hitting the button now.